city of Lincoln is changing. Over the last decade, we've seen an amazing transformation to this place. This is seen not least in the growing evening economy. These city streets are alive at night. And whilst this brings a vibrancy to the city, it doesn't come without cost. And as a leader of the church in the city, I was faced with the question, where is the church in all of this? Where would Jesus be? Street Pastors is one way in which the church is responding. It's one way in which the church is seen in action on the streets. It was set up in 2003 by the Reverend Les Isaacs and now operates under the charity the Ascension Trust. And they oversee street pastor work in cities right across the UK, ranging from Portsmouth to Aberdeen. Each one containing individual Christians who volunteer out of a care and love for their city, out of a care and love for Christ, wanting to make the streets a safer place.
Street pastors are groups of people who go into the city of Lincoln to show the love of Jesus in a practical sense. We go out in teams of 4 on a Friday and a Saturday night. And we're not there to preach, we're there to take the love of Jesus by caring for people, by helping people, by listening to people in whatever shape or form that takes. We do things like if people are taken ill, we would wait with them, we might phone for an ambulance, we might give them water, we might help clean them up. Sometimes people are upset and they just need somebody to talk to, and we provide a listening role. So each night is variable, but that's the sort of things that we'd be involved in. We meet at 10 o'clock and we pray together, and then we go down into the city for about 10:30, and we ask people to be prepared to stay until 4 o'clock so that all the nightclubs are finished and people have got to the taxi rank and been to the eateries, and then they're safely on their way home.
I think that street pastors is a very amazing thing.
I think it's a good idea.
It helps homeless people and people that's probably not very well educated on how much to drink.
It can be dangerous, especially for young women who have had a little bit too much.
I absolutely love the street pastors because they help me home.
It does make a difference. And some lads out there that are walking the streets that are a little bit, don't know which way to turn, I do think that it does make a difference. So I think
The evening economy in Lincoln is very vibrant. Over the past 10 years, we've seen a massive increase, almost a 200% increase in drinking spaces that are available. A busy weekend night can see anywhere up to 6,000 revellers in Lincoln city centre. The Street Pastor project in Lincoln has made a massive impact. Venue managers were very excited right from the outset because they could see that it was going to fill a gap that existed where a vulnerable person would fall in between the care and duties of the licensed premise and the responsibility of the police and ambulance service. So the Street Pastors fill that gap very nicely. Right from the outset, we provided the Street Pastors with a pair of radio link radios, which allows them to communicate directly to CCTV, partner agencies and all the premises in the city centre.
In the 6 months up until the start of this week, the pastors have done 560 patrolling hours between themselves. So that's 560 hours of reassurance on the streets of Lincoln on a Friday and Saturday night, which are our key areas for nighttime economy. They provide another presence, but not an authoritative presence. They provide a presence and they fill a gap which I see that the police are not unable, but not always able to fill. But sometimes the situation requires a bit of aftercare, and the pastors have filled that gap ideally by being there to listen, to reassure and to help people move on.
Okay, so what next? How about you? Maybe you've seen this DVD and you're considering that you might like to be a street pastor. Well, there are a few requirements. First of all, you need to be a Christian. We do this work on behalf of God's church. You need to be over 18 years old. You need to have been committed to a fellowship for at least 12 months. And we take up references from senior church leaders to help us with that. You need to be able to offer at least one Friday or Saturday night per month to work on the city streets. Or maybe you feel called to help, but perhaps not as a pastor itself. Maybe you could help as part of our growing prayer team, made up of individuals who come together to pray on the nights that street pastors are out. Maybe you could offer to help us financially as we rely on funding and grants from other bodies to make this project work. Or maybe you don't even live in Lincoln, but you'd like to see street pastors in your own town or city. Well, for you, it's probably best to visit the website of the Ascension Trust, www.streetpastor.org.uk. Follow the contacts there, and they'll come and visit you and tell you what to do next. But the key thing for us is making sure that as Christians we have an opportunity to serve our community, that we have an opportunity to be Christ on the streets. Is that something you'd like to do?
Whilst I'm visiting premises, speaking to venue managers now, they often say that they don't know how Lincoln's managed for so long without the street pastors.
Yeah, it's a very good idea.
And how important is it for you guys, people like you, to know that
as a licensee?
Yeah.
Very, very much. I agree with it, 100%. And with them being volunteers as well, I think it's a good job we're doing.
Anyone not feeling very well, they come round and they look after them, get them taxis, do everything for us. Lovely people, and they do it for nothing.
Making the city safer.
Of course, a lot safer, especially for the ladies who, unfortunately in today's society, do get drunk. They do have too many, and I don't need to say no more, but these people are there to help them and put them home safely.
And their mere presence at these, where we've got gatherings and people in drink, diffuses the situation and provides reassurance for everybody, and people are just pleased to see them.
I believe that Jesus is on the streets of Lincoln. He's seen in the faces of the street pastors every Friday and Saturday night.